Welcome back to See You at Sunrise. On the road to success this morning is Chef Noel Cunningham, owner of Cuisine by Noel. Welcome.
Thank you so much, Yanique.
Well, thank you so much for joining me. You're on just recently showing Jamaica your culinary skills, but now we want to hear about the story that really made Chef Noel Cunningham the person he is today.
Yes, for sure.
So tell us, where did your passion for cooking come from?
My passion for cooking all started at a young age. Growing up in my home with my mom, being around her, she's always cooking, and my aunt, who is a professional chef. Then she introduced me to Food Network, to the Bobby Flay, the Paula Dean, the Gordon Ramsay. Then I started realizing that, okay, food is not just cooking around the stove, it's a wide area. And then moving on to high school, that's when I choose my vocational area by doing food and nutrition. Yes, for sure.
Now, having seen these persons on television, the Bobby Flay, the Paula Dean, etc., you knew that this is what you wanted to get into. This is the business you wanted to get into.
Yes,
but you weren't going to work for yourself. You weren't going to work for anybody else. You were going to work for yourself.
To own my own. So by choosing in my vocational area, I decided that I want to open my own restaurant and my own catering business.
But your entrepreneurial skills started pretty early, and I think almost by force. You started very young.
Yes, it does. It started when I was maybe 12 years old at the time. That's when my stepdad passed. He was the one taking care of the house. Then that's when now I started selling, as well vending, as we say. And then I started just selling so I could finance myself to go to school, because at the time my mom was working and then my stepdad just passed. So I have to take on to be the man of the house to start financing myself along with trying to help, my family as well at the same time.
But as a child at such a tender age, I can just imagine the impact it must have had on your schoolwork, because you can't be balancing the vending, the business section, the emotional trauma that comes with a family member dying, as well as school. How did that work out?
It was a bit rough. It was challenging at times, in terms of for 7th grade, just starting high school and all. Most times I was if I was on evening shift, I'd be selling, in the morning or vice versa, but I have to balance book work. But at the same time, I need, lunch money and stuff like that. But then, in my grades were still pretty good, but in 9th grade, I honestly I fall down in my grades, and also I came maybe 30 something out of 48 students at the time. But then I believe in myself, so I'm oh no, this is not me. So 7th grade, in 10th grade now I came 7th. So I started doing more work.
That's a big jump,
Yes,
from
it is.
30 something to 7, that's a lot of work.
And then the big surprise now, when I was graduating, I heard my name called Noel Cunningham for first place, 11J. And I was shocked. My friends are like, hey Noel, that's you. Well, I didn't believe, but I'm not really competitive, but at the same time I didn't expect it to become first place. Coming from 30 something to first place, that was pretty good.
Well, like you said, you knew that wasn't you, and you knew what you were
Yes, for sure, yes. But because of, the selling, doing all these stuff, being absent, then
it took a toll on you. Now, talk to me about going to Heart. You went to the Runaway Bay Heart Hotel and Training Institute right after, knowing exactly what you wanted to do. You knew you wanted to get into the culinary arts. You wanted that training, but why go to Runaway Bay? I mean, there are the Heart Institutes in Kingston.
Runaway Bay Heart is the best culinary school in Jamaica, if not the Caribbean.
Why do you think so?
Because of the hotel that is attached to it. So once you're there, for a year, you're getting work experience at the same time. So when you're ready to face the industry, you're already experienced in all the areas: pantry, butchery, pastry. So it's not just theory that you're doing, because I know persons leave other culinary institute in Jamaica and going to Runaway Bay Heart. And growing up as going to high school, I'll be watching creative cooking. I'll see chefs on it, and I'll see Runaway Bay Heart. So I'm that's where I want to go.
How did you manage to work out the funding? Because you're coming from a situation where you're funding yourself through Edith Dalton, and then now coming to the Heart institutions. How did the funding work out?
Well, that was a big jump, because it's now a boarding situation.
Exactly.
So I have to know. So my elder sister Stacy, she have to now be the one to be supporting me, along the way. It was great. I wasn't much, but at least, I was humble enough to work with whatever I have.
And based on what you're saying, you got the hands-on experience. So when you got out of Heart, you really knew exactly what you were doing. You're used to the hours. You're used to balancing schoolwork as well as
because
the practical stuff because of the training. But then somewhere along the lines, maybe about 2-3 years ago, you just burst on the scene as this top chef.
Yes.
So how did you work that out? How did you manage to put yourself out there
it's
as
like,
a chef?
Honestly, it's like lots of hard work and dedication. Like leaving Heart, I went to Edenism Hotel, started working. That's where I got my first cooking job officially. Then I leave, and then everything all started at Cafe Mantra in Kingston. I did entertainment report, then I did Intense, all those I guess the media fall in love with me. And then no, I did and the big one for me was Vice Cuisine. I did that one twice, and then I did like a lot of stuff in terms of the Glean and the Observer.
And since then you've gotten the opportunity to go on a work program abroad in Canada?
Yes, overseas, yeah.
What was that experience like for you? Coming from little old Jamaica, doing the transitions from summer here all the time,
I get that
cold
question
country.
every day.
Exactly.
Yes, so basically it was an eye-opening situation. I was a bit nervous. It was like a mixed feeling. I want to go on, but at the same time, I don't know what to expect, what's going to happen. It's a new country. I'm going to be all alone.
Right.
But then, you have to take risks. That's what life is all about, risk. So that's when now, I went. It was like the coldest winter for like in Canada history for the past like maybe 50 years.
Oh,
yeah, and
then
so I had to like bundle up all those stuff. The food is different, and then work environment. Like when we went, it wasn't all that we were expecting at first.
How so?
Also because our employees supposed to get us an apartment. When we went, we had to be like on the floor to sleep.
You're
yes, but it's true. Like when we got there, but then we try to rise above that and try to set ourselves. But it's not one that other person want to go on these foreign programs. But I'm saying that you have to have your eyes open to expect like anything. And but you have to just push yourself and know that this is not it. That your current situation is not your final destination.
Right, and you prove that because now you have Cuisine by Noel.
Yes.
Coming from that experience.
Yes.
And you are going to be based in Canada.
Yes.
Talk to me about that. How are you going to approach this new target audience? What are you going to bring to the Canadian market?
Well, what I want to bring is diversity in terms of fusing traditional Jamaican food with Canadian food. And they all like jerk, they all like spices. So as a chef, if I can bring that to them, then I know they will appreciate it. And so far, the responses have been like really good. Like, it's really good, and they're asking for it.
All right, really quickly, running out of time. I want to know what you say to other young chefs out there in Jamaica watching you this morning.
I would say follow your talent, because talent without passion is like a car without gas. You have to be humble, expect to work really hard, be dedicated, and just do your best, stay in your lane, and it will all work out.
Fantastic. Thank you so much for joining me, Noel.
You're
You
welcome,
leave on
Yanique.
Friday
yes,
to really launch Cuisine by Noel. It's been going for a couple months now, but I really do wish you all the best, and hopefully you can bring Jamaica's name abroad.
Yes, and I'll be back with my success story.
Fantastic. All right, thank you viewers for tuning in. My guest under the success this morning has been Noel Cunningham of Cuisine by Noel. You can look at his website. It's chefnoelcunningham.com. Now, if you or someone you know is on the road to success, email me at ontheroadtosuccess.cas@gmail.com. We'll be right back.